Hello, I'm Cool Ranger VR, and today I'm going to be going over how I actually got the plushie in a previous video. I know a lot of you were asking about it. Cool Ranger, how did you get the plushie? Now, I didn't really explain it all too well in the video, so I'm going to be going over it in as much detail as possible. Also, most of this may not be true, and that's because, well, I hate researching, one, and two, I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly what happened, but I was there for parts of it, so I'm gonna be going over those parts, and I'm also gonna be going over how I think it started. Okay, so from what I've been told and from what I know, I'm 99% sure that yesterday the developers were playing with the plushies. I think this is how it went down. I think one person stole a plushie and duplicated it, and then those people duplicated it with more people, and then it became a huge thing. Now, there's no plushies in the game right now, besides the developers and maybe moderators. I don't think moderators have access to those items, but I don't know, so don't attack me, please. But basically, I think all of the plushies came from one plushie because there was only one color, and from what I've been told, apparently it was Devin's plushie, but I don't know. So it was a blue plushie. This was the plushie that was around. So this was the plushie that was going around. Not any of these colors, only this one. So I'm gonna be over. So I'm gonna be going over how I got introduced to the plushie now. So I was just playing in a lobby at around I would say 10 p.m. last night, and I was making playing around, making sky bases, hitting people off of sky bases, just messing around, and suddenly Azerxy is in my lobby. Now, I know Azerxy from his TikTok, but he had something weird. He had a plushie, and I was super confused how he got it. I think Azerxy had voice chat off, so I couldn't talk to him, but I was trying to ask him about how he got it, so he couldn't tell me. But now that I knew that there were plushies out, I started going into different lobbies to try and find somebody who had a plushie to explain how they got it. Now, after around an hour of looking for somebody who had a plushie and to explain how they got it, somebody told me that they duped it with a bunch of people and told me to go to a code MC57. Now, the poor news about MC57 was it was true. They were trying to dupe the plushie in MC57, but somebody had stole the only plushie and had ran off. Now you may be wondering, why was every plushie in a crossbow? So here's how it worked. If you had the plushie, it would eventually despawn if you didn't put it in a crossbow. Or that's how it was for a few people, because I saw somebody grab it when we were duping it, and they didn't put it in a crossbow, and it just disappeared out of their hand. Also, the reason why it wasn't extremely widespread, because it wasn't easy to dupe. Unlike when you're duping a block, you can just drop it and someone can grab it out of the air, and then you'll get another one. But with the Yeep plushie, it was completely different because there would only be one visible to everybody. What you had to do was you had to keep grabbing it, just like you would do with duping a block, I guess. And you would have to pull it out at random times and ask everybody around you, did you get one? And if somebody, then somebody would have to say yes if they got one. And they would have to put it in a crossbow because then it would become visible to everybody. Because keep in mind, there could only be one that was visible to everybody. So you had to put in a crossbow so everyone could see it. Then you would shoot the crossbow at the ground, releasing the Yeet plushie, and do it all again. So what I'm aware of is that the Yeet plushie, everything that happened yesterday, it was all from one. Now I don't know who exactly started duping it, but I'm gonna explain how I got my Yeet plushie now. I was in the starter house, and there was uh, a uh, what is it called? A pack of hyenas trying to get the Yeet plushie from this person, and they were, I think, about to get off or something, maybe. But they pointed their thing at the ground and shot it, and nobody was paying attention, so I got to grab it. Then I tried to dupe it with one person, but their headset eventually died, and I couldn't get to dupe it with them. So then I just played around with it for a little bit, was like showing it off to everybody. And then I met two people, and they said that they were trying to dupe it. And I didn't know that you could dupe it. I just figured that the developers had just given it to like one person, and then people had lied about duping it because they didn't want. I don't know. But you can dupe the plushie. And so I was surprised. So I asked them, I was questioning them a lot because I did not want to lose this plushie. This was like incredibly new and incredibly important to like content and everything else. So I didn't trust these guys at first, but they were lab rats and content creators, so that got me to trust them a little bit more. So I decided to go to their private world, and we duped it a little bit, and we got, I think, 6 Yeep plushies out of the one that I had. So I had 2, and then I went, I shot them out into the abyss of space, which probably wasn't genius. I should have just gave it to somebody else, honestly, so that it could be, like, more widespread, but, you know, I thought it would be cool. So then I duped another one and I got another one. And then I shot that one into the abyss of Blue House. And sadly, you can't get the plushies anymore because all of them are gone from what I'm aware. But it's been like more than 11 hours. Let's see. It's been like 15 hours since I played with it. So to keep an object that nobody owns alive for that long a time would be extremely hard. I mean, you'd have to pass it from one person to the next, to the next, to the next, and hope that somebody doesn't grief it or like steal it or like shoot it into space like I did a bunch of times. And unfortunately, they're all gone, from what I'm aware. And if somebody actually does still have a Yeep plushie, that would actually be amazing. But for from what I know, they're all gone, and I haven't seen one all day, so it's sad. Now let's go over the second theory that I have about how they got leaked, and that is the theory that when Yeeps, the official Yeeps channel, was making the video on the Yeeps plushie, they were playing with it in a random lobby, and it could have, I'm not saying it could have been stolen and duped again. Now, we don't know exactly who it came from or where it came from. There's speculations, tons of stuff. We still aren't aware. And now you're probably asking, can I still get it? Well, yeah, when it comes out on the 29th. The only boring thing about the one that everybody had yesterday was you have to own it for it to link. So if you just grab someone's, then it just becomes still like this. And it can't do anything. So it sucks. But when it does come out, I'm going to get a plushie. I want to hear if you're going to get one because that would be pretty interesting. And honestly, this whole Yeeps plushie thing was really, oh my. Okay, you can see my, what? Okay. This whole Yeep plushie thing has been kind of very overwhelming. I mean, it took me 2 hours before I could even, like, find one. And then it took me a lot more time to actually get one. And then I had to record a video. And I shot another one into space. And then I duped it. So I guess I kind of did do something good for the community by duping it with some people. So I increased the lifespan of the, what's it called? The Yeep plush. And from what I'm aware, when I got mine, I was probably one of the last people to have one. And when I duped it, I gave it to a bunch of other people. So I think that's pretty cool.